From Darling Stadium in Hampton, WHCS Cable Channel 46 presents Peninsula District Football, the Hurricanes of Heritage and the Phantoms of Phoebus. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We welcome you to Darling Stadium for this battle of undefeated, almost unscored upon teams. The Heritage Hurricanes, 3-0. Nobody's put a point on the board. Phoebus, 3-0, have allowed just 3 points, and these teams have offense to boot too. Each team averaging, Phoebus 36 points a game, almost 60 points a game for the Hurricanes. We should have a wonderful game, Bob.
Well, on paper, it looks like you're going to see a lot of points. That may not be the situation because defense will sometimes stop your offense from scoring a lot of points, and this is one thing that Bill D has, and they've always had a good defense, and John Quillen does a good job with the defense over there. But I think the key tonight is if they can stop, they being the Phantoms, if they can stop the big plays of the Heritage Hurricanes. The Canes have a young man by the name of Johnson, Michael Johnson, last year coming off the bench, leading ground gainer as a sophomore. So, that gives these young guys that are sitting on the bench, an opportunity. Hey, I can get in the game and do some things. But he also will run back punts and kicks, and he can break one. So if they can keep that down, keep the ball away from Heritage, I think we're going to have a game that'll be maybe go right down to the wire.
Well, what's interesting in these type of matches is you don't know for certain that the team is averaging these big points, 36 points a game for Phoebus, 55, almost 60 for the Canes. Is it because they've got really good offenses, or is it because their defense kept stopping their opponent and keep giving it back to them? It's a little combination of both, obviously. But it always intrigues me when you've got a game between two teams that really has good offenses and they really have good defenses, because you never know which team is going to dominate on the defense, and that's really what it's going to come down to today.
Well, and I'll tell you another little thing, too. Bill D said to me earlier in the week, I'm kind of glad we had 3 points scored on us because we've got that monkey off our back. Because once somebody scores on you, that can be a big letdown psychologically. Mm-hmm. And, they don't have to worry about that. Phoebus doesn't, but the Canes do.
Now, and let's talk about opponents here. Common opponents. Menchville played both of these teams. Phoebus beat them 55-0. Heritage beat them 66-0. So throw Menchville out of it because they're really in a bad shape here. They've got Cox, Nansemond River, Denby. They really haven't played a quality team like a Warwick or a Hampton or even a Bethel. So this may be where the question mark has to come in. Is you've beat up on a couple of weak sisters. What's it going to be like when you play a really good team?
Well, weak sisters, you're right. The combination of win and losses for who the Phantoms the Hurricanes have gone to go 1-8. And I asked Bill, I said, what's the record of the teams you beat? He said, I don't know, but it's probably pretty close to the same. So, but you're right. But if you're a coach, you kind of like having younger and inexperienced teams to play at the beginning, because that gives you a chance to work on some of the things and get your timing down, whether it's on offense or defense. But tonight's going to be a challenge for both teams. Oh, no. Neither one of these teams are going to walk out here and think that they've got the other team on the ropes.
Well, let's go back in time right now. Bob had a chance a little earlier to talk to head coach John Quillen of the Hurricanes.
I have John Quillen with me, the head coach of the Canes over at Heritage. And Coach, we were talking earlier, but you got a young man that's kind of special on your team, Michael Johnson. Young man did a lot last year coming off the bench.
Yes, Michael came off the bench last year as a backup tailback and led our team last year in rushing for over 900 yards. So he did a good job of rushing football, catching the ball, and blocking. So this year he's a starter. He's a full-time starter.
Well, I also know that he'll run back punts and kickoffs for you, so he's also dangerous in that point.
Yes, we hope he can get some kickoff. He haven't touched a kickoff return yet this year. People have been kicking away from him.
Well, that might be a reason for that.
Well, we try our best to try to get the ball in his hands as much as possible.
Okay, now I talked to you a little bit about the way you match up with Phoebus. Talk a little bit about that.
I think our matchup is pretty similar. They are strong in the area we are strong in. They have good skilled people, good speed, quickness, defense. Like to run to the football, same as ours. I think it's a good matchup in that. It's going to come down to what team made the least amount of mistakes and turnovers.
Well, and that's the key I was going to try to get to. But also, let's look at the kicking game. How's your kicking and how's your special teams?
Well, tonight we're without our place kicker. He had death in the family up in New York, and he left yesterday to go up to New York to a funeral, so he won't be back till next week. So that's going to be our concern for us. Our place kicker, and he's our punter.
Okay. So you're without your normal guy, but you got somebody stepping in the back who will step forward.
We hope somebody can step forward tonight.
Well, John, listen, we hope you good luck tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Good enough. Let's go to Tim.
Coach Quillen, of course, has got a great team. They were great last year. And last year, gee, wait a minute, let's see. Now, what happened last year? Phoebus got beaten pretty soundly last year.
Big time.
You don't
big
think
time.
Maybe Bill has, well, no.
You don't think he brought that up? No.
You don't think he might have brought that up? I don't think he had to.
Because there's players that remember that, Tim.
Exactly. The pride that goes along with this. And we've talked about it. We've seen Phoebus over the years. They've almost always every year had a really good competitive team. So these guys got a lot of pride. Now, whether that pride is enough to take on a good Heritage team, because this team is good, but we'll see.
Well, Tim, they are good, but the Phantoms are good. I think both of these teams are good, but to get down, you have to play to find out how much different and how you match up to the opponents. But if you look at the Peninsula District, the 4 top teams, Hampton, Warwick, Phoebus, Heritage, all Division 5. Hey, only 2 of them have a chance to go to the playoffs.
Yeah, this is pressure time, and I'm telling you something. We've had some decent games already this year, but I'm excited because this is the kind of game you look forward to. 2 undefeated teams virtually unscored upon, so it ought to be a real good one.
It will be.
Right now, let's go back in time again. Bob had a chance to talk with head coach Bill D. of the Phoebus Phantoms.
I have the Phantoms coach with me, Bill D. And Bill, got to talk early in the week, and you've got a kind of unique situation over there. You got 2 quarterbacks that are pretty good. One the better passer and one the better runner. But Mizell has been kind of a go-to guy for last year.
Well, Leon is, a real leader, and he played great at quarterback last year. And we have a good situation. Ronnie Hendricks has come up from the JVs. Ronnie's a real good quarterback. Does some things that I think can help the football team and give the team a little different look. We're trying to give him a little experience, a little bit at a time. But right now, Leon's starting, and he's the leader of our football team, and we're going to use Ronnie just like we have been, and just give the defense a little, a few more things they have to think about.
And that's always a good thing. The more they have to think about, the less they can be prepared on one thing individually. Talk a little bit about how you match up with Heritage.
Well, hope we match up better than we did last year.
We ain't going to talk about last year.
They got a lot of quickness, a lot of speed. They throw the ball well. They run the ball. They got a great running back. They play good defense. I think they're quick, and we're pretty similar. We haven't scored as many points as them. I don't know if anybody has. I mean, they've been a scoring machine the first couple of games.
I think they've averaged like 59
points a game. They're a big play team, and we've played pretty good defense. So it should be an interesting matchup.
Well, as always, you guys come prepared, and defense has always been kind of your moniker. If they talk about Phoebus, they always talk about Bill D's defense, and that's something that you guys have a lot of pride in.
Well, I always think that you have to start with defense. That's something we're going to make sure our best athletes, no matter what, are going to be on defense. And my staff does a good job. Greg Narvitz, my defensive coordinator, and all the coaches do a great job. And we put a lot of emphasis on defense.
Good enough. Well, listen, good luck to you tonight.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Good enough. Stay tuned for tonight's starting lineups.
Back here at Darling Stadium, Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. As you see the officials at the center of the field, we're just about to have the pregame ceremony. The officials for this contest, very similar to the ones we saw last week. In fact, they are identical to the ones we saw. Yep.
So Andy didn't have to do anything but just bring it up.
That's what I hear. So we're going to have the 2. There's John Thompson, and we appreciate him. Once again, I understand he is mic'd for this event, and we will be glad to have that. Tonight's contest is brought to you by Zooms, with 6 convenient Peninsula locations, and in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, where the manager is Nancy Staten. Well, Bob, we were talking about the teams down in the pregame discussion, and of course now specifically you've got quite a cast of offensive players here. You've got this Jason Cook, who's leading the attack for the Canes, and this Michael Johnson that you've already alluded to. There's a Corey Rouser who is their their fullback. But now on the other side, you got Leon Mizell, and this Travis McWright has really blossomed. He's really come on strong.
And there's a very strong runner in this Xavier Adibi.
Yeah.
Is really come along too. So both teams have tremendous offensive weapons. It's going to be what team can their defense stop the other offensive weapons. But Tim, as we were talking earlier about, kicking game may come into play here once the coach told me the punter and PA man won't be there for the Canes.
Let's go down to the field and referee Thompson.
For the Heritage Hurricanes, Larry Davis, number 7.
This is Mr. Richards, going to be your umpire. Mr. Thompson, I'll be your referee. You guys want you to play a hard-fought football
Apparently,
game.
we're not able to pick up the feed from referee Thompson's microphone.
Guys, take care of your team and make sure we play by the rules.
Here we go.
We've already had a toss, a pregame toss, and the white team won the toss, and they chose to receive. You chose to kick down here. So you guys come over here with me.
Number
All right,
4.
guys.
When you go to the
Bring 'em out. Let's have a
sidelines,
good
number
one.
4, you pull that shirt down, son, please. Pull that shirt all the way down.
All right, you were able to hear some of the pregame. Here are the officials for tonight. John Thompson is your referee. Lee Richardson, the umpire. Herb Cook, the linesman. Larry Turlington, the line judge. Tony Krug is the field judge, and Billy Toller is the back judge.
Tim, we will pick a player of the game from the Phoebus Phantoms tonight, and that player will receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Buckwaller, which is now Engraving Inc. They're located at Tab Square and Route 17. For all your engraving needs, contact Jim at 596-8850. The shirt comes from the Islander Sporting Goods, and they're located in Poquoson. They can meet all your sports needs with a full line of athletic goods, both team and individual, equipment and uniforms, plus screen printing. Call Dave Chubb at 868-8467. John Roberts is the owner. And we're picking up somebody.
Well, that's the award-winning Ken Silver from the Daily Press. He is one amazing photographer. He really is. He's won many Virginia Press awards for his work over the years. And that'll be 2 hot dogs, hold the mustard, please.
I was
Mr.
wondering what you was going to get.
And that is him right there.
All right, let's
And
get
almost
this.
any time you look at the Daily Press for a sporting event and you see a great action shot, Kenny Silver is the man who did it. All right, the Phantoms will kick off. The Canes will be back deep to receive, and Michael Johnson, number 2, is the deep man. Let's see if the Phantoms kick to him. They choose not to. They'll kick it, and it'll be taken by Larry Davis, number 7. And he's got some running room. Almost broke loose at the 25-yard line.
Here you the Heritage Offense Center. Atwood guards Hines and Crawley. The tackles are Burke and Lewis. Tight end is Blackstock. The split end is Stevens. The flanker is Davis. Jason Cook is quarterbacking. The fullback Corey Rouser, and number 2, the man you need to watch, the tailback Michael Johnson.
We've had a report, Bob, that there are some raindrops falling from the sky. And one of the things we were not anxious to see happen. Hopefully it'll hold back.
Passing fancy.
All right, speaking of passing, they'll try it on first down and incomplete.
And that was
From
a
Jason
stop.
Cook.
That was a stop and go to Cook, Tim. Just pump.
All right, here are your defense for the Phantoms. You got Harrison, Littlejohn, the tackles. Adibi and Blunt are the ends. The linebackers are Pauling, Edmonds, and Ellis, along with Boone. Your corners are Mizell and Brown, and Norwood is the safety. 2nd down and 10 on the incomplete pass. They'll run the ball this time, and they will not get anywhere as the Phantoms had that one smelled out perfectly. In on the stop was Jeremy Blunt, number 10 for Bill D's Phoebus Phantoms, for about a 3-yard loss on the play. Brings up 3rd and long.
Well, this is something that Phoebus wants to do, is make the Canes punt early, and we'll test this new punter.
Well, they haven't gotten to that point yet, although they will now as the handoff goes to Smith. Landon Smith got the call and picked up about 2 back to the basically the 25-yard line, the original line of scrimmage. So it's 4th down. Actually, the 26 was the line of scrimmage. So it's 4th down and about 11.
That's Wayne Reynolds is deep to punt.
There you see him in the middle of your picture. And the Phantoms almost got to it.
We got a flag
down
yeah.
on the play. A short kick, and it takes a Phoebus bounce. Big Phoebus bounce all the way back to the 39-yard line of the Heritage Canes, but there is a flag on the play. They mark it at the 38. That would be, what, about a 13-yard punt?
Oh, man, it's not hardly that. He just did get a first.
And needless to say, Bill D will refuse that penalty.
We'll give you the offense for the Phantoms.
Here's the replay. So that ball just got hung up there. And watch this backward spin. It looked like he used a pitching wedge.
9-iron or something, yeah. I think it was illegal procedure was, of course, denied.
Okay, well, we can certainly hear the cheerleaders nice and loud.
Yeah, we can turn Ron Mike down a little bit. Wouldn't hurt.
On offense, the Phantoms stay on the ground for the initial play. And they pick up yardage to the 35-yard line. Was that a DB?
That's DB,
Xavier
38.
DB. We'll give you the offensive and defensive lineups here in just a second. There you see the Phantoms quickly. Well, let me run this play, and I'll get back to the lineup here. I don't think I'd have time. 35-yard line, 2nd down and 8 for Phoebus. Mizell got it on the right wing, and that's going to be enough for a 1st down.
Nice play. Nice play. It's a lateral, Tim. You talked about that before, throwing that out there, but he got a great block off to the side, and I didn't see who it was.
That was Parker who made the grab, and we'll give you the Phantoms again.
Now watch this block. Right there. You can just see the end of the block, but great job.
A 1st down at the 26-yard line. Out of the I formation. Into the middle of the defensive line, and coming up to make the stop for Heritage was number 70. That's Watkins. All right, again, here we go on offense. Pavlik is the center. Haley and Braxton are the guards. The tackles are Bunch and Brules. Tight end is Harris. The split end is Brown. Ellis is your flanker. The quarterback, Mizell. A DB is the fullback, and McWright is your tailback. Ball marked at the 25-yard line. Phoebus trying to take advantage of this short punt by the Canes, and they do have the wind at their back, I should quickly add. Phoebus staying on the ground. Ball comes loose, but well after the forward progress of the ball carrier had been marked.
Not a whole lot of room to run in there. We'll show you the defense for the Hurricanes. There you see the tackles are Blackstock and Lewis. The ends are Foy and Watkins. The inside backers, Rouse and Smith. The outside backers, Martin and Davis. The cornerbacks, Stith and Stevens, and Jason Cook is the safety.
2 yards for McWright on that last play. It brings up 3rd down and 7 for the Phantoms. Mizell sets up the screen, middle screen, got a man wide open. And the big tight end is down close to a 1st down and still rolling. And he may have the 1st down.
And Tim, he got it because he didn't stop running.
Excellent 2nd, 3rd, and 4th effort by the Phantoms to move the ball inside the 15-yard line, and that will move the chains.
And that big, who was that, big 87, wasn't it?
87, yes it was. That
Shaheed
is
Harris.
Shaheed Harris. Here's your latter part of this. Is right after the grab is made. Now watch this. He's going to just drag would-be tacklers for the 1st down. That's what you call determination.
Tim, he did not have the 1st down when he caught that ball or when he got hit.
Temporary stoppage of play. We're all set to go now. They've marked it at the 14-yard line, 1st down. 8:09 remaining here in a scoreless 1st quarter. Mizell over the middle. The ball is tipped incomplete. Almost picked off.
Rouser got a hand on it, but that was because the receiver was wide open.
That was Harris, again, the big tight end we spoke of, who made that nice play a moment ago. Ball falls incomplete. 8:02 to go in the 1st quarter. Hope you're enjoying it. It's early in the game here between these undefeated teams. Heritage 3-0, Phoebus 3-0. On the option, Mizell cuts it up the middle, and he's taken down as he gets across the 12-yard line. Couple of yards on the play. Bring up 3rd down and 8.
Coaches over there for Heritage, John Quillen is the head coach, assisted by Dwight Robinson, Paul Macklin, and Bernie West. Bernie played at Bethel High School when I was over there. It's good to see Bernie.
And there's Coach Quillen right there in the middle of your picture. Actually, now he's to the left. Got a pretty good breeze going from right to left as you look at the field. This is to the backs of the Phantoms.
Big play here, Tim. We get the first down or go for the field goal.
Parker splits wide to the right. Mizell wants to pass, and now the ball comes loose. I believe that is going to be a fumble. And Heritage will come up with it at the 20-yard line.
They shot a linebacker or somebody broke clean through, setting up a screen over to the left side, just did not have the time to get it off. Watch the replay right there.
Either just separated him from the ball. That was number 11 for Heritage that made the play. That is Blackstock, Darrell Blackstock. So he did the job, forced the fumble, and now the Canes will have it from their 19-yard line. They'll try the left side and pick up a couple of tough yards. That is Michael Johnson, number 2, carrying for the Canes.
Coaching for the Phoebus Phantoms, of course, Bill D is the head coach, Greg Navard, Greg Day, Stan Sexton, Bob Sislow, Dick Van Dyke, Ron Johnson, John Stein, Tom Moore, Jeff Holloman, and Jerry King are his assistants.
Picked up 3 or a little bit more than that. And we've got movement and flags. Looks like the Phantoms may have jumped, but where they pulled off will be the question.
And, you know, that hurts you if you're a defensive coordinator. Well, and your defensive man jumps into that neutral zone, but if he's drawn in, it can help you.
They all rule that the Phantoms were in the zone illegally, and they'll mark off 5 yards, so it makes it second and short.
Well, the Phoebus Phantoms, Tim, lost a lot of good players last year, and I'm going to get into that a little later. Had a lot of people to graduate that ended up with scholarships. You notice they do a lot of gang tackling.
The Cane getting the first down as the ball carrier, Johnson, gets it across the 30. And that will move the chains for Heritage.
We got Marie Shanks went to Maryland. Sarkey went to VMI. Lachlan went to Elon. Pavlik is kicking for Hampton University. Jason Fan is at Hutchinson Junior College. And Joe Lewis is at Norfolk State. So that's quite a crew to replace.
First down, a little across the 30. Plenty of time to throw. Completes the pass up near midfield, and that'll be another first down for the Canes.
What a nice throw that time by the quarterback for the
That's Jason Cook connecting with Larry Davis.
They had a zone set up, and he just, as you watch the replay, found the seam in the zone, and you see right there were 4 Phantoms there, but he was right in the middle of it.
Ball is marked right at midfield. Another first down for the Hurricanes. This time, quick hitter. This is Rouser, and Rouser down the sideline, and did he step out? Yes, he did. Otherwise, he would be gone.
Tim, I don't know if you picked up, but what they're doing is they're not even huddling, and they're getting set up in their offensive series before the Phantoms can get set, and they were not set defensively that time. That's why that play worked.
And fortunately for the Phantoms, Rouser was pushed out of bounds by Michael Haywood. Otherwise, we'd be looking at 6 points on the board right now. Instead, it is a first down at the 28-yard line of Phoebus. So the Canes getting untracked on their second possession of the ball game. Plenty of time again over the middle, and that one's complete at the 20-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 9 for the Canes. That is number 20, Raymond. I got to get my glasses on. I can't make out some of these. Stiff, yeah, that's what I thought. Stiff is a name we're familiar with, right?
Yep.
Heard that name before. Second down and about a yard as they're inside the 20-yard line. Need to get to the 19. Right now, the Canes moving the ball, and now we have a flag. We got flags all over the place, as a matter of fact.
Well, everybody moved but the center. The center didn't snap the ball when everybody else was moving. Phantoms did not want to turn the ball over.
on the
That was
offense.
one of the things that Bill
Remains
D was
second
concerned about.
I'm not. We're talking over referee Thompson, but it's hard to hear him, so I think that's part of our problem. Okay. Second down and about 7. Good speed to the outside. I'm talking big-time speed. Touchdown, Heritage.
That's that Michael Johnson who I was talking about.
24-yard run by Michael Johnson.
Put a nice move as he went around the left side, did a little juke step inside like he was going to cut it inside, and then went outside and just turned on the afterburners.
Wayne Reynolds to try the, check that, someone else is kicking rather than Reynolds. That was Landon Smith, number 3, and his attempt is no good. So the Phantoms are behind 6-0 on the missed extra point with 4:54 left here in the first quarter. So on their second possession, the drive is 81 yards as they got the ball on the fumble. So after the turnover, and, you know, you and I talked with the coaches, and the one thing you just cannot afford to do in a game like this is make
Watch
those
this
mistakes.
little move inside right there. And then just outside, and he dives into the end zone. Wanted to make sure he got into it.
Extremely quick, Michael Johnson. We heard big things about him, and he just showed us why everyone's talking about him. It's a low squib kick. Taken inside the 15. This is McWright, and he is to the 20, and then he is snowed under there. So the Phantoms will have it for the second time, and they'll start from just across their 20-yard line.
What happened on that last offensive series with the Canes, Tim, is their offensive passing really opened up their run. They was having trouble running, had a couple of good passes, and then kind of loosened up that defense, and then Johnson got it and went on that 20-yard jaunt into the end zone.
So Mizell and group will come out down by 6. This is Adibi. Xavier Adibi turns the right corner and picks up a couple of yards.
That is a fast defense. They really get out. It's going to be hard to go wide on them.
I'm impressed with their team speed already. Just in the part of the first quarter that we've seen, we've already seen their speed on offense, and you saw good pursuit that time. Second down and 10.
It's Adibi again.
He's out to the 26, almost 27-yard line, so he picks up about 5.
Jason Cook making the tackle, and Cook is the safety man. That was just a quick trap. And again, you Phantoms are doing something that the Canes did. They're up at the line of scrimmage real quick.
Third down and about 5. And we've got early motion. That will probably cost the Phantoms 5. Again, they've got to get that snap count. This is not the type of thing you expect from a 3-0 team.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. Third down.
All right, so the gain is negated as they lose the yardage they had gotten. They're back basically to the original line of scrimmage, so it's third down and 10. Mizell with little time gets it on the swing pass to McWright, and McWright is stopped cold before he could even get going. In on the stop, Corey Rouser along with Larry Davis. So
there was a block thrown out there, Tim, but it didn't hold.
Nope, the Davis and Rouser just shrugged the block and made the stop. Brings up fourth down and a long 8, almost 9. So we'll see the Phantoms in deep punt formation. That'll be Greg Narvid. Gets a low snap and just gets the kick away. Kind of a line drive and taken by Johnson, and Johnson is taken down immediately. In fact, he lost yardage back to the 46, so a good job by the special teams.
Really is. He kind of like he was trying to fake like, I'm not going to run, and see if he could lull the defender asleep, but Phantoms had no part of that. Watch the replay.
Yeah, it's kind of unusual. Look, it looks like he might have called for a fair catch or something, and then he decided he's going to try and run.
Well, that was number 4, Michael Norwood. And Norwood, one of the leaders on this team.
So from their 46, the Canes have it back. They're leading 6-0. Plenty of time. And is it caught or picked off? They say incomplete now.
Yeah, no. He caught the ball. Interception.
Now they say interception. The first signal was incomplete pass. But now a turnover, and each team has gotten one.
Watch, he just fought for that ball.
And he is Ronnie Hendricks.
Hendricks just wanted that ball real bad.
If the tape ran a little bit, you would have seen one official waving his arms to indicate incomplete pass, but he was overruled, and apparently a good call by the officials to get that one straight. So now let's see if the Phantoms can do something with it right back in their hands. And again, McWright gets the call to the 35-yard line.
Well, I'm impressed with the defensive front 4 of the Canes, Tim. They are just controlling the line of scrimmage right now.
Second down and about 8 after a 2-yard gain. 2:05, and the clock is moving here in the first quarter. Phoebus, nothing. Heritage, 6. Battle of the Unbeatens. And that one's picked off, and that will be 6. That was a poor pass from Ronnie Hendricks, who had come in at quarterback, and now we've got a flag. That'll be, I guess that'll be unsportsmanlike conduct for celebration or something, but doesn't really change what happened here. And that was a beautiful anticipation by DJ
Mizell
Parker.
had pressure on him. And
well, it's not Mizell. That's Ronnie Hendricks.
Oh, Hendricks, and he had pressure on him, and he just went ahead and threw the ball with the defender out there, and you can't do that. You got to throw the ball out there where only your guy has a chance of catching it.
Did you have to see how far that was? 35?
We're going to rule that as a 35-yard pass interception. And unfortunately, that's the type of interception that no one else is going to stop the guy from running in, because he's got a head of steam and no one between him and the goal line. But there was a flag, I believe, for unsportsmanlike. I don't know whether they'll tack it on to the extra point or take it over and give them the 15 yards on the kickoff. We'll see how that works. It looks like they're discussing that right now. Let's listen to referee Thompson.
We have unsportsmanlike conduct on the white team. The touchdown is good. It'll be marked off on the extra point.
All right, so the question mark is answered. Makes an extra point try a real challenge here. We've already seen that their kicker did not do very well on the first attempt.
Well, he's not their normal kicker. Their normal kicker, unfortunately, had a death in the family and is out of town. But talk a little bit about our buddy Zooms, Tim.
Second turnover, just to real quickly mention that, though. 2 turnovers, and both have led to scores.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. Zooms is given an award to the senior football player on each one of the Hampton teams this year who has demonstrated academic excellence. These players will be awarded plaques at a school board meeting after the season. We want to thank David Allen and Zooms for their continued support of WHCS and our student athletes.
A great friend of Channel 46, David Allen and the good folks at Zooms. I think I might have a pizza with everything on it tonight as I stop by my favorite Zooms up there
yes,
in Highland.
You will.
So the extra point try is no good, and the Phantoms now trail 12-0 with 1:44 left in the first period. The turnovers, 2 for the Phantoms and 1 for Heritage.
Tim, that Jeremy Blunt came through that line I don't know if he's coming on a blitz or where he's coming from. He comes from the defensive end position, and was when the quarterback turned around to try to pass, he had a phantom right in his face. Cook had no choice.
We knew that Bill might shuffle his quarterbacks. Ronnie Hendricks came in for Mizell, and unfortunately Hendricks completed the pass, but the guy didn't have the same colored uniform on. This kickoff taken at the 24-yard line. And there's a seam. Oh, my goodness, almost broke that one. That was Philip Brown, number 2 for the Phantoms. He had one man to beat, and he was grabbed by the shoelaces, and that kept Phantoms from getting on the board.
But they've got good field position, and they got to stick with their game plan. They're only down 2 scores. I got a long way to go.
42-yard line is where the Phantoms will start this possession.
Make up his mind where he's going to put the ball.
Looks like we're set now. Mizell back at quarterback on the option. Pitches back to McWright. And McWright just can't get the corner. He is thrown for a 2-yard loss.
Well, they're not getting any blocking on the outside. And when he makes that move, there's nobody, there's a defender right there that he can't get away from.
They mark it at the 40, so it's a loss of almost 2. Second and a dozen for the Phantoms. We are at the 109 mark of the first quarter. Heritage scoring twice here on a 24-yard run by Michael Johnson, and then a interception for a touchdown of 33 yards, I'm told. DJ Parker got that one. Mizell swings it to the near side, and it was intended for Parker, but that one didn't get there. I'm sorry, let me correct myself. It was Larry Davis, rather, number 7, the other number 7, who picked it off for the Heritage Hurricanes, giving the wrong person credit for the INT. Phoebus would wish it was DJ Parker. Third down and about almost 12. Phantom's just going to have to do a better job of blocking. They're not giving Mizell much time. A little play action can sometimes do that for you, but then the pocket collapsed big time, and a sack back to the 37-yard line, where the Phantoms will look at 4th and long, and they'll bring on the kicking team. Here's your replay. You're just going to see Mizell had time for a moment, but then it just collapsed.
He stepped up into the pocket, and then all of a sudden the pocket wasn't there.
Narvid on to kick. This time gets a high snap, but not much of a rush. And this one will go, well, I started to say it'll go out of bounds. It actually will be downed by the Phantoms before it goes out of bounds at the 43-yard line. So the Canes of Heritage will have good field possession to start this possession with 10 seconds remaining on the first quarter clock here. Hope you're enjoying this one. This is the battle of the unbeatens. Phoebus and Heritage, each 3-0, but right now it's been all Heritage. Quick hitter, and he may go. He's got a convoy. Corey Rouser.
And it's just a quick trap right up the middle, and some really not good tackling.
57-yard run by Rouser. That came as time expired here in the first quarter. But right now the Phantoms are stunned by this explosive attack we'd heard so much about. But let's face it, as we talked about it, they hadn't played anybody, but now they're doing it against a good team. Extra point is partially blocked, so again, the only thing the Canes have not done well is put extra points on the board.
Watch this little trap right up the middle. Boom, right there. And he got away from a tackler, 2 tacklers, and then Smart just cut over and used his people downfield. Nobody could get to him.
So that is the end of the first quarter. And it's Heritage 18 and Phoebus no score, as you see on your screen there. A lot of the fans, but the Phoebus fans here are sitting quietly stunned as they've seen their faithful, their team, hit with 3 quick scores.
Oh, you got that right. We'll be back here next Friday night on the 29th, and we'll have Phoebus again. Will be playing here. They will be hosted by the Kecoughtan Warriors. And then a week from that will be a great game, October the 6th. Hampton will host Warwick.
Again, the short kick taken at the 23. And McWright is out to the 35-yard line. So that's where the Phantoms will have it to start this drive. Right now, the Phantoms desperately need some good offensive line blocking.
And if you're going to pass, you got to give your quarterback a chance to set up. Mizell is out in the flat, so we have, it looks like Hendricks is quarterbacking.
Quick hitter for a DB, but again, the sure tackling by Heritage. That time, Landon Smith makes the stop.
Jerry Blunt, the ball carrier, stopped by Landon Smith after a gain of about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8.
2nd down and 8 for the Phantoms. Rain falling here lightly, and hopefully it will stay that way, but there is some rain coming down. Play action fake, and the pass completed over the middle.
No, it was dropped.
Nope, couldn't hang on to it. Jeremy Blunt was the intended receiver.
Impressed with the tackling ability of these Canes. Strong hitting team.
See the replay here. Just couldn't quite hold on to it. Would have been close to a first down, but couldn't find the handle. And another drop pass.
And that was wide open receiver. You got to catch those. He got decent protection that time, Hendricks did.
So 3 and out for Phoebus.
This is Coach Navard's son who is doing the punting for the Phantoms. Nice kick, got it to turn over.
No fair catch called for. Michael Johnson, and then he slips down at the 35-yard line.
Little push in the back that time that they got away with, but no harm, no foul, I guess.
So the Canes up 18 to nothing rather. They will start it with 10:53 remaining in the half. And they'll start from their 35. Last time, their drive was a one-play drive, 57 yards on the quick hitter, so Phantom's going to have to tighten up here. On the option, Cook pitches to Johnson, and that's not going to work as the Phantoms had that one well read and throw Johnson for a loss all the way back.
That was a DB, Tim.
To the 28, almost 29-yard line, so that's a loss of 6. Here's your replay.
There was nowhere for him to go this side, and when he turned to reverse his field, Xavier DB was where he was supposed to be.
It's one of those cases where the right defense was called for the offensive play that was run. Cook, and he shows some of his elusiveness, a flag down, and he throws, completing the pass at about the 42-yard line. It will be short of a first down, but a penalty flag back in the backfield.
It's either going to be holding or illegal man downfield.
Watch your replay. Holding is the call. Cook did a nice job of evading the tackler, but someone in his assistance grabbed hold of a blue jersey and got caught.
We have holding on the offense, 10 yards. Repeat, second down.
And that comes from the point of the infraction, Tim. So that'll take it clear back to what, about the 16?
So the first down is at the 45-yard line.
Almost 30. About 29, huh?
Second and about 30.
Cook play action. What a nice arm on this young man. He throws and completes the pass to Larry Davis up at the 40-yard line. Did you see the arm on Jason Cook? He's a big kid, too. Jason Cook is 6'3", 210. That's that new prototype of quarterback. As you watch the replay here, it's kind of like that Culpepper from the Minnesota Vikings. He looks like a linebacker instead of a quarterback.
Well, he's as big as some of his linemen.
Ball marked just shy of the 40, so it brings up a third down and about 5.
Well, a lot of that, what Cook did that time was on his own, biding time by rolling out and making the defensive man miss.
Long count by the Canes. Cook got a one-on-one, got Davis over here and completes the pass. And Davis will elude the tackler and score. "61 yards.
Nice job that time by Davis to come back to the ball. The defensive man turned around and lost the ball. And then he broke a tackle.
So the Canes, with that quick strike offense, they did it again, and this one 60 yards. They'll try the extra point. This time it hits the upright, so
he's getting closer.
He's getting closer. He got some elevation that time, but boy, the Phantoms have just been burned. You know, we talked about the big play and how they wanted to stay away from it. It's not working right now for the Phantoms. Here's your replay of the score. And this was just a great effort by Davis.
Watch the quarter right here. See how he comes back for the ball. The defensive man misses it right there. He breaks the tackle. And Tim, that started second.
We got to make something happen, right? We got to make something
and
happen.
about 30.
Hey, listen.
And they scored in 2 plays.
We can get 24. All right, we have just as much speed. We are just as explosive.
Cook on the evening, 4 out of 6 for 108 yards.
Keep our aggressiveness up. They got 24 in this amount of time. We can get it too. So we got to stay with it. All right, we got to keep attacking.
So they've scored on a 24-yard and a 57-yard run, a 60-yard pass, and a 33-yard interception. Another line drive. And McWright is tackled in the open field. Heritage just looks good all the way around. That was Dion Witherspoon.
Nobody's blocking.
Yep.
Boy, the coaches are going to have a field day when they look at this tape.
Well, I don't think they'll have to look at the tape. I'm sure there will be a conversation held at halftime.
Oh, you just can't let a man come all the way down and not put a body on him somewhere. Somebody's got to put a body on somebody. And number 44, Witherspoon, just came right down and
you can hear the encouragement on the sidelines by the Phoebus coaching staff, and Mizell is wrapped up and thrown for a loss by Landon Smith. So, again, they're just not holding those blocks, and I don't mean holding in the sense of holding the
Tim,
defender.
they're running the option. They had the quarterback covered. They had the pitch man covered. And the only other option you got is to give it to the fullback. And if they faked the fullback, Adibi, up to center. And there was nowhere else to go. If Mizell had pitched the ball, they'd have lost another 4 or 5 yards. Or fumbled it.
Second down and long. On a slant, got the pass completed this time. And that was the aforementioned DJ Parker, number 7, making the grab right near the first down marker. Let's see exactly where they mark it.
Oh, he moved it back a little bit. So, well, they did give it to him.
Oh, that's interesting. Because it appeared to be a first down, marked it back, but not until they moved the chains. So.
I'm amazed at that move, but that's okay.
All right, 38-yard line. They picked up exactly 10 on that play. Mizell on the delay. And McWright is just nailed by Corey Rouser. This Rouser is impressive, too. Michael Johnson and Rouser both are just eating up.
Well, Rouser is one of those inside linebackers. Nobody put a hat on him. If you don't put a hat on him, he's going to make a tackle, especially if it's a draw play. He wasn't fooled.
Lost about a half a yard. Watch the replay here. You can just see McWright looking for a hole, and there was no hole there. 2nd and 11.
Very sound fundamentally are these.
Ooh, that one is a lateral. That ball is live. Now they're going to say incomplete pass, so it would have helped to have had that signal a little sooner.
Yeah, no whistle, no. Well, wait a minute.
Now the official, the side judge, has come in and waved incomplete. Well, it couldn't be an incomplete pass, so they wouldn't have restarted the clock. So
well, right, and they didn't move it up to the line of scrimmage, did they?
No.
And the down marker is now he's moving it.
So it must have been a lateral.
And number 11, Blackstock, got up in the air and said, "You're not getting that by me."
They mark it at the 37. 3rd down and 12. Hendricks is the quarterback. Hendricks wants to pass, and he tried to get it to Mizell on the slant, and it was just too tall for Leon Mizell. And that'll bring out Narvid.
That'd have been an awesome catch if he'd have got it.
So Narvid will come back on, and he's been a busy young man here in the first half. He will be kicking into the breeze.
I tell you, that big turnover when Phoebus was down there getting ready, close to scoring, and they turned the ball over, the whole complexion of this game changed.
Just got that one away. Narvid looking for the Emmy, but won't get a call. Johnson is wrapped up and taken down inside the 30 at about the 28.
Well, I tell you, the special teams are not letting him run the ball, but that's the only thing they're stopping. They got to do some tackling. Watch the replay here. A lot of pressure.
Just missed getting that one. Johnson's lucky he didn't get tackled and that ball come loose. That thing taking a little hop over his head like that, but it worked out for him.
Johnson has -3 yards.
First down for the Canes at their 29. This is Johnson to the outside. 35-40, still on his feet. And now goes out of bounds.
Good strong runner, Tim. Good strong runner. You see he stiff arms and keeps the tacklers away from him.
That's more than enough for first down as they'll mark him out of bounds.
Watch this replay. They get the defensive pinned inside, defensive end right there, pin him inside, and not a chance.
First down at the Heritage 45. This is Johnson again, and Johnson tripped up. So he'll lose about 3.
That was 15 that time, Tim. That was Maury Pauling. Pauling plays one of the inside linebackers. But there hasn't been many times they've stopped this young man tonight. I don't know how many yards he's got, but very impressive runner.
Right. Second down and about 13. Heritage seems to do their best work when they're backed up. Cook over the middle, wide open. First down at the 43 of the Phantoms. Once again, Larry Davis, the favorite receiver here in the first half of the ball game. And another first down, a gain of almost 12.
Well, they're playing a zone, and he's just have got the open areas in that zone.
Ball inside the Phantom 44-yard line.
One of the things that you can do to stop that is put pressure on the quarterback.
They haven't been able to do it. He's been getting good protection. Flag down, might have had too much of a protection that time. Someone might have grabbed somebody. So we'll see, incomplete pass, but a penalty flag and a holding call against the Canes.
They have holding on the offense, 10 yards. Repeat first down.
So about the only thing that the Hurricanes haven't done well is extra points and holding on some of their offensive plays. But boy, I tell you what, that's about all they're not doing well.
Well, this is what, first and looks like about 20.
First and about 20. Got some mix-up in the backfield, and Cook will be taken down after a gain of about a yard. So that was about as unsmooth as they looked, and Cook comes up a little gimpy. He is definitely limping back to the huddle. Now, I don't see a timeout being called for, or it looks like they're going to bring in a couple of subs, and I don't know whether they are,
nope.
Apparently not, they're not going to be the quarterback. So Jason Cook shaken up on that last play. Might have had someone roll over on his ankle. That could be a huge loss for this team.
When you have a busted play like that and you try to make something happen.
And a fumble on the snap, a flag down. That might have been delayed. Let's see. Yep. So they got a break there because I think the Phantoms might have recovered the ball, but the play never happened because there was a delay before. Cook just didn't look like he was ready to play on that.
Dead ball delay on the offense. 5 yards, second down.
So you might have heard referee Thompson tell you, delay, back it up to the 40. Second down and about 26 to go. And again, Cook stays in there at quarterback. He's apparently going to walk this thing off. And he's not limping as noticeably as he was. Blitz coming for the Phantoms. Johnson tripped up in the backfield. So the Phantom defense now starting to get together a little bit.
Who's that, number 87?
That was 87. He's going to be a tired young man. That's Shaheed Harris doing a good job on both sides of the ball. That's marked back now to the 37-yard line, almost the 36. So it's, for all intents and purposes, third down and 30. But they were there before and scored.
Well,
so.
It was second and 30, you know. But
same idea.
Yeah.
You got to watch out for the big play. Phantoms had a lack of coverage over here. Got a man on him, though. Cook completes the pass over the middle and tripped up at the 39-yard line, short of the first down.
Got him, Tim, or he would have made the first down.
That was Gary Stevens who made the grab. He's a 6'1" senior, but he'll be short of the first down by 5 yards. It'll be fourth. Watch the replay. Jason Cook doing a great job. Plenty of protection. He is just extremely accurate. Now he's shaking off that problem that he had with the ankle because he's not limping any longer. Fourth down and about 5. Cook has time, throws and completes it for the first down. Out of bounds is Corey Rouser, but he'll be first down at the Phoebus 29-yard line. We'll return to Darling Stadium with the conclusion of the first half after this brief timeout. Ollie. All right, back here at Darling Stadium, 29-yard line is the line of scrimmage. This is Johnson, Michael Johnson, to the 22. So he picks up about 8. Just as we were making that the tape change there, Bob Killen, our statistician for tonight, leaned over to me and said, 2 words, very impressive.
Very impressive. Well, and they're doing everything, all phases of the game except kicking. And that's because the kicker's not here, but they are as sharp as any team that I have seen at this stage of the year.
2:23, the clock moving here in the first half. This is Rouser, and he will be close to the first down depending on the spot. It looks like he might be just a little short.
Well, I think he might have made it.
Well, let's see where they mark it. Yeah, that's going to probably be close enough to bring in the no. See, referee Thompson, he saw my. I pointed down there. I said about 6 inches, 8 inches short.
Well, you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me that you had a direct line to the referee.
I can't tell you all my secrets. Nonetheless, no problem there as Jason Cook got the first down and then some as he carried the ball all the way to the 16-yard line. So the Canes will have it there, first down. No problem. Needed a foot, and they got 4 yards.
Let's go. Hey, come on, Jeremy. Come on, baby. Come on, let's go.
Stevens and Davis, 6 and 7, come in for the Canes.
You can hear the coaches on the Phoebus sideline encouraging the players. Misdirection play, Rouser, and Rouser is tripped up at the 14.
I tell you, I'm impressed with Mizell. Number 5 came up from his safety position, Tim, to make that for the cornerback position, make that stop.
And now a timeout is going to be taken by the Canes. That'll be their second timeout, as they have 1:19 on the clock, looking to put some more points on the board before halftime.
Tim, again, I want to remind the folks that we will pick the player of the game from the Phantoms tonight, and that player will receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Engraving Inc., located in Tab Square, and the shirt comes from the Islander Sporting Goods, and they're located in Poquoson.
I'll let you listen in as Bill D.
And we got a stranger in our midst there. Well, you give me tickets. He gave me tickets. All right.
All right.
Brent Musgrove. How you doing, Brent? Good to see you. Now you're seeing a tremendous game.
Did you say a stranger or a strange person?
No. Did I say stranger?
All right, you heard Bill D. And huddling up with his team. Ball is marked at the 14-yard line. The Canes now looking at second down. 1:19 left in the half. And the ball is on the ground, and they cover it up at the 14. So no gain on that play, and that'll bring up a third down. Clock continues to move now.
Well, they have one timeout left, I believe, don't they, Tim?
Yes, they do, but they're going to try and get a playoff here. Going to do the fade in the corner. Got contact. Ball batted down. No flag. Good call in the no call. It looked like good defense.
Yeah, it really was that time. But that was a nice call that time. But we're going to take the final timeout probably. We got to.
Well, actually, referee Thompson signaled a official's timeout.
Well, the clock stopped regardless because the ball went in the end zone. An incompleted pass, that is.
All right, so now it's marked ready for play. It is fourth down, and this is really a big fourth down here because
it could be a little victory here.
Yep, exactly. My point is they could get some momentum out of this if they can stop them, and they will. They'll wisely not even try and intercept it.
Well, he wanted to intercept it, but he's probably better that he didn't.
Yep. As it turns out, the Phantoms are able to keep the Canes out of the end zone.
Looks like we've got one of the Phantoms, Tim, has got a leg cramp down there.
Ronnie.
All right.
9 out of what?
Cook in the first half, 7 of 11 for 159 yards. So he's had an extremely productive first half against a good defense. A player whose number I've not been able to make out, as you again hear the encouragement being given to the players on the sidelines.
Don't quit. Way to make a statement, guys. Don't quit.
All the coaches' cliches there. being thrown out here as we are 49 ticks of the clock away from halftime. We'll remind you that during halftime we will be taping the band performance by the Phantoms, and that will be shown at the conclusion of the ball game. So we invite you to stay tuned for that. At the end of the game, we will have the halftime band performance by the Phantoms. So the Phantoms with the ball at their 14, almost 15-yard line. They have 3 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, but they're not going to take any of the timeouts, Tim. What they want to do is they've got a small victory here stopping the Canes. But what they want to do, get this young man off the field, hope he's not hurt too bad. Who's that, number 4?
That is Michael Norwood, who's played a good first half.
Well, he's their safety man, Tim, and he went up for the ball and maybe came down hard on his ankle.
Yeah, that doesn't look good. He's not putting anything on that ankle, so they're having to cart him off the field.
Well, we got Jerry Gentry down there as the trainer for the Phantoms, and he'll take a look at him and see what he can do.
Hendrick is at quarterback, and he hands off, and McBride is wrapped up after a short gain.
I don't think we're going to see anything extraordinary down here. We got 30-some seconds to go. We're going to see a couple of running plays and hang on to the ball and
regroup, if you will.
Regroup. They're going to have to do something in the second half to get to get more pressure on Cook.
Well, if you can get a DB into the
nice trap
into the secondary and get him sprung loose, you might be able to get something out of it. They do get a first down out to the 29, or 28 at least. Now they will take a timeout.
Tim, Alan Pavlik, the center, threw a tremendous block that time that opened up that hole.
Wonder if he's any relation to Paul.
He is, brother.
I'm informed that play ends up giving the Phantoms positive yardage for the first half. So that's how dismal it's been. Watch the replay. I believe we have it for you.
Watch this nice block by the center. Boom. Right there. And you see him. He's got him on the ground. I mean, he stayed right with the guy. And that's what you got to do. You can make contact, make sure he doesn't get in there and make the play. Take care of your position.
15 seconds left in the half. The Phantoms still with 2 timeouts remaining. And a ball marked for play. So they could conceivably get a couple of plays off here if they use the timeouts and if it works out that way.
Hendricks is quarterbacking.
And he throws. He's got a man open at the 40. To the 50, down to the 48-yard line of the Canes. That'll stop the clock with 5 seconds remaining.
If I would call a timeout, too. What a nice throw that time.
Well, they're not even going to do that. They're going to, apparently.
The coaches are calling timeout. Watch this play. Nice protection. Watch the blitzing linebacker get picked up right there by the young man in the backfield, and I'm not sure who that was. It probably was a DB.
So one more play at least before halftime.
The only thing that would cause another play is if it was a defensive penalty. The play half or the game cannot end on a defensive penalty.
Want to mention again, Zoom's the place to go before or after the game. Get that fine fried chicken, pizza, potato wedges. They got Beantown coffee. They got Krispy Kreme donuts and the quality Citgo gasoline.
So you can just fill up everything. Your
you
belly,
can do it
your
all.
car, and get your big drink and
take care of it all.
Go.
All right, so at least one more play. Phantoms would hopefully put it in the end zone if they can. But again, they can take some positives out of this last few minutes of the half here.
From the shotgun.
Hendrick scrambling, and he is tripped up, and time will run out. Wait for the official signal, but there's no time on the board, and that is your first half. So it's been all Heritage, but the Phantoms starting to show a little bit of life as the half concluded. Our score at halftime, Heritage 24 and Phoebus nothing. We'll return to Darling Stadium for the third quarter of action after a brief timeout. Back here at Darling Stadium, Tim Cole with Bob Hintz as the teams are returning to the field real quickly. Phoebus at halftime, 16 rushes, no yardage. The passing 5 out of 11, 1 interception, 48 yards. DJ Parker has 2 of those catches for 29. Had 5 first downs. They fumbled once and lost it, and they were penalized 1 time for 5 yards. 48 yards total offense. For Heritage, 18 rushes, 122 yards. Leading rusher was Corey Rouser with 4 for 82. We'll give the rest of that right after this return of the kick out to the 32-yard line, almost the 33. Heritage, 7 of 11 passing, 159 yards and a touchdown. Larry Davis, the leading receiver, with 113 yards, 12 first downs, no fumbles, and they were penalized 4 times for 30 yards and did have a turnover, but Phoebus had 2. Total yardage in the first half, 281 yards to 48 yards. So a domination by Heritage in the first half.
That was Philip Brown that brought the ball back on the kickoff that time.
And this is Hendricks starting at quarterback in place of Mizell. They pick up about 2 as McWright gets the call. So at halftime, it's 24-0. Let me just real briefly remind everybody, if you joined us late, Michael Johnson ran 24 yards to make it 6-0. They missed the extra point. Then Davis did it on defense, intercepted a pass and returned it 33 yards, 12-0. Again, missed the extra point. Rouser, 57-yard run, made it 18-0. You got it, no extra point. And then finally, Davis, as this was picked off.
It was hit at the line of scrimmage, Tim.
It's picked off, though.
And a good job that time by Marlon Ellis, number 9, I think it is, for the Phantoms.
That's Landon Smith who made the interception for Heritage. So if things weren't bad enough, they've gotten the ball back at the 25-yard line of the Phantoms. Here's the replay. You're absolutely right, though, Bob. The ball was tipped, but good job by the Canes. Mr. Landon Smith, who's had an outstanding ball game as well, returning it all the way to the Phoebus 25.
Well, he would have gone all the way in if it hadn't been for number 9, Marlon Ellis. Good job, fought off a blocker.
And nothing on the
we got a flag too, Tim.
Penalty flag is down. So a loss on the play.
Michael Johnson.
And a penalty for illegal motion against the Canes. I would suspect that the Phantoms will probably take the play.
Barry Pohl.
An illegal shift on the offense, refused, second down.
All right, I'm sorry, Bob.
Pauling was the young man that shot the gap in there coming from that inside linebacker, and it made the stop in the backfield. Great job that time. Good tackle.
So lost a little more than 2. Let's call it 2nd down and 12. There you see Miss Bowers up there as she's doing a great job. Talk about our crew in just a moment. Cook wants to throw, and
another flag
down.
Yeah,
I get to call the flags.
Okay, well, then you're going to be talking all night. All right, let's go. We got our mobile cable technicians, Asa Carroll and Asia Towns, and young lady got a full ride basketball scholarship and will run track at Seton Hall also. Congratulations to Asia. Cameras, Ron Baden, Susan Bowers, Nathaniel Braxton. Don Rouse's engineer, Andy Foley, graphics, and audio. Scotty Bowers does everything else. Got a good look at Asia.
3rd down and a dozen. Got a free ride, understand, to Seton Hall. And we got another penalty flag. So the Canes come out and commit 3 penalties in a row.
Illegal motion to charge against the
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 3rd down.
So that'll bring up 3rd down and 18.
That's the peanut gallery.
What's happening, Mom?
Good shot up there by Mr. Baton.
Little do they know we have some wonderful peanuts up here. Here come the Phantoms, and Cook is able to get away, but not completely as he picks up about 5, but it'll bring up 4th down and about 13.
Nice. Again, Maury Pauling impressing me defensively.
So the Canes don't have a kicking game tonight. We've already established that. So I suspect they'll just go for it, which is kind of insulting at times. They did that a while ago. Instead of kicking or something, they just went for the first down. So the Phantoms are going to have to get some respect here. 27-yard line is where they've got it. They need to get to the 15. Cook has time, throws the fade, got a man open, touchdown, Davis. Larry Davis, what a night this young man is having.
Unbelievable.
27-yard pass from Cook to Davis. And 4th and long, and they threw it down there and got the touchdown. 30 zip with 9:34 to go. So the kicker, Rouser, will try to put the extra point. Hit the upright last time. This time it is good. So after 5 attempts on the 5th time is the charm in this case.
Well, another turnover cost the Phantoms another touchdown. Watch the pass. Not enough pressure. We just laid it out there. And you're right. Young man just ran under it. Yeah, I agree.
All right, 9:34 left in the 3rd. And the Phantoms down 31-0. And I got to tell you, I am impressed. We talked about it, but talking with some of the folks up here, the award-winning photographer, Mr. Silver, was saying, well, why doesn't Phoebus try running up the middle with that big guy more often? And you know, that's not a bad idea because they're not getting much with McWright. McWright's a good tailback, but he's just not quick enough to get the corner against this team. And he's not getting the blocking. He might be quick enough, but he's just not getting enough time. So another line drive, and this one gets away from McWright. He'll pick it up at the 12, and he'll try to get to the outside. And again, that excellent hurricane speed.
But Tim, you look down there and you see 5 and 6 white jerseys, and all the blue jerseys are up here. It looks like nobody put a hat on anybody. You gotta block. You gotta block.
So Phoebus will get it at their 15-yard line. Davis with 3 touchdowns in the ball game, a 33-yard interception, a 60-yard pass, and a 27-yard pass. Hendrick on the option, pitches to McWright, and McWright will pick up good yardage to about the 21-yard line. He'll gain 6.
That's the first time they have really got anything outside. Did not have a man on the pitch man that time. That's good positive yardage on first down, and that's what the Phantoms need to do is establish some things here, get some first downs, move the ball down the field a little bit, and don't make any turnovers.
McWright.
So McWright picks up 6, 2nd down and 4. And this is McWright, and he has the first down out across the 27 to the 28-yard line. Ball might have come loose at the very end there. Let's see how they've called this. They say Phantoms have it, and it is enough for a first down. So the ball did come out, but the Phantoms luckily will keep possession, and they'll move the chains.
McWright looked a little more elusive that time running the ball.
Yeah. Here's the replay. Watch this. He's got such great speed. If you can just get him into the open, he'll burn you. But so far, the Canes have just not allowed that to happen. Hendrick, play action, swing it far side, and that's incomplete. The intended recipient was Maurice Boone, number 8.
And you know that might not have been a bad decision on Hendricks. He'd throw it over his head and out of bounds because there was a a defender right there in front. If you would have completed the pass, it'd have been for negative yardage.
So the clock stops with 7:56 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Heritage 31 and Phoebus nothing. Next Friday night, we'll be back here as Phoebus and Kickintan will square off. Oh, picked off, as I started to say juggled for a moment, but that is Corey Rouser with yet another turnover for the Phantoms. That is their 4th of the ball game, and the Canes will take it at the Phoebus 29-yard line.
That ball was bouncing around. It looked like nobody was going to get their hands on it. I'm not sure if somebody at the line of scrimmage got their hands on it or not. But he was trying to force that ball into.
Looked like Mizell was his intended receiver.
He was, but there were 2 defenders around him.
Yep. So the Canes from the Phoebus 29 just that quickly have it back. Pitch near side, and Johnson's wrapped up for a loss. And again, the young man making that stop for Phoebus, Shaheed Harris. He's just been outstanding on defense tonight.
Well, and did a good job catching the ball and moving it right there at the beginning when we thought that the Phantoms had a good chance to score first.
That turnover at the 20-yard line in the first quarter just really killed him, didn't it?
It really did.
31-yard line, a loss of a couple. And nothing else happening that time. Maybe another small loss.
We had a flag or I thought I heard a whistle.
I need to stop it right now. Where's it coming from?
Yeah, I did hear a whistle. Somebody has a whistle.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and about 13.
So some confusion here, but referee Thompson has indicated that someone other than the officials crew is blowing a whistle, and he's indicated that that's, got to be stopped, and rightly so, because that's what, as you said, Bob, you thought you heard a whistle, and I can't imagine someone doing that on the sideline, but
well, I thought it was like a delay of game or something, because you hear the whistle before the ball was snapped, but that's not good. Somebody can get hurt.
Well, you let up as soon as you hear the whistle blow. That is a lateral. Johnson has it, got away from one tackler, now reverses his field, and then falls down at the 45-yard line. So the Phantom defense doing a good job of bottling up Michael Johnson. That is a huge loss. That's a 13, 14-yard loss. Yeah, that was a lateral.
Well, that was number 2. That Phillip Brown wasn't going to let him get by him that time.
So the big loss on that play makes it 4th down and 25 to go for the Canes, and looks like they'll finally have to punt the ball. And a short snap to Johnson on the option. And that's not going to get it at all, as the Phantoms now will get the ball in real good field position.
Great defense, Tim. They had the pitch man covered, so he really didn't have anything to do but try to run it, but they were not being fooled.
And I correct myself, that was not Johnson number 2, that was Landon Smith number 3, who took the direct snap instead of snapping the ball to the punter.
That wasn't a bad call.
Well, like I said, they've shown no respect here. They've just 3 different times now gone ahead on 4th and long and gone for it. McWright, and a late flag comes down as he is thrown for a 3-yard loss and a penalty flag on the play.
I think we'll get holding.
That's the call. And see if you can pick up the holding here. Looked like, it looked like a pancake there from one of the Phantoms. I won't point him out for lack of
We
embarrassment.
have holding on the offense, refused, 2nd down.
So the Canes will take the play.
Yeah, well, you lost almost 4 yards on the play. So it's 2nd and 14 instead of 1st and 20.
Clock moving with 4:51 remaining here in the third. And McWright is stopped cold at the line of scrimmage.
He went outside of where the hole was, and there was nowhere to go. Corey Rouser was right there.
How many times we called his name tonight? He's been doing it all on both sides of the ball. That's 3rd down and 13 to go. Hendrick fakes, has some time, got a man wide open. Mizell and overthrows him. It would have been enough for a first down, but it was just too tall.
Mizell got open in that zone, and then you got to get the ball to him.
Hendricks, the quarterback, just a junior. But that'll bring on the kicking team for Phoebus. That would have been enough for the first, but it was just, just no way he could catch that ball. It was just too tall. So Narvid, who has been a busy man in the first half, will come on to punt. Bad snap, and he just got it away. Didn't get much on it. It will take a Phoebus roll to the 45-yard line, but again, Heritage will have fine field position for this possession. Possession changes with 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Again, do want to talk about Zooms, and they're helping us recognize the senior football player on each one of the Hampton schools this year who has demonstrated academic excellence. These players will be awarded plaques at a school board meeting after the season. We want to thank David Allen and Zooms for the continued support of WHCS and our student athletes.
Do you realize that this game marks the halfway point in the regular season?
Yes, that's hard to believe.
Sounds like we just were sunbathing on the shores of Buckrow Beach, and here we are. It's halfway through the season. Nice pass play by the Canes, and that's right, first day of fall. And it feels like it tonight.
Beautiful night, though.
Cool and perfect night to play football. Just a slight, there's just a few little drips and drops coming down, so it's really not enough to make anyone wet. A couple of people put the umbrellas up, but quite frankly, it's just kind of discourteous to the people behind them. It's really not raining enough to be a problem. First down for the Canes after that big pass and catch. This is Michael Johnson, and he will get the corner. Flag down.
Yeah, we may have a clip or a hold on the outside there. Number 55 for the Canes, Maurice Crawley. Great job of pulling that time.
Watch the replay here, see if you can see what happened. I don't see it there.
There was a clip.
So here in the third quarter, the Canes have committed some penalties.
Clipping on the offense, 15 yards, replay first down.
Now that evidently is from the point of the infraction like holding.
So they back him up to the 43-yard line. And it's first and about 20. And now the Canes are going to take a timeout. So 2:43 left here in the third quarter. It's Heritage 31 and the Phantoms scoreless. Huh? Yeah, clipping. Here you see the fans in the stands across the way. Heritage got a good crowd on hand. A late arriving crowd. You and I were looking at there earlier. It didn't look like there were many people here.
They did arrive late.
Yeah, Bob Killen just reminded me next Saturday night it might be a good reason to go up to Todd Stadium. Now, Heritage will be hosting Hampton.
Next Saturday night.
Next Saturday night. So the Canes with a first and 20 as play resumes. 2:43 left in the third quarter. Jason Cook, who just played a great game at quarterback tonight, over center. Gives to Johnson, and he gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
And I think it was a defensive end on that side over there. I'm not sure who it was. Might have been a DB. Nobody picked him up. Oh, it may have been Shaheed Harris. I believe it was Harris.
So no gain on the play. It's 3rd down and 20.
Second down.
Second down, excuse me. I was thinking it was already second, but you're right.
Well,
second.
they got to play the first down over again.
That's true. They did.
The first down really didn't happen.
That's right. Ollie. Cook rolling. Now he'll keep it. And he is tripped up as he gets to the 36-yard line. No more problems with my sinuses after that last whistle. And we've got a player shaken up. A couple of Phantoms are slow to get up. We were happy to see, by the way, Bob and I were looking down the sideline, Michael Norwood, who was shaken up and carried off the field late in the first half, is back standing, in fact, walking pretty well. In fact, I see him on the field. He's doing so well. He's actually playing. I was considering the way he was carried off, I didn't know. You know, usually when you can't put any weight on an ankle like that or whatever the ailment was, you're not going to come back. But that looks like it's number
Maury
50.
Pauling, Tim.
Maury Pauling.
Maury Pauling has had a great job defensively.
And they are looking at his leg. I don't know the nature of the problem. Got him rolled over now. Let's just hope that it's just a sprain, but or something less serious at least.
Well, let's hope they got the magical tape that they used for Michael Norwood.
It seemed like it was, because he was not in good shape, and he's back playing. So he will hobble off, and hopefully Pauling will be able to continue, but not for the time being. A couple of teammates will help him off.
If they don't make a wish before they...
Yeah, make sure they go in the same direction, right? All right, so Maury Pauling out. 35-yard line, 3rd down and about 12, almost 13. Cook, straight back, almost contact before the ball got there.
I tell you, Mizell did a great job, Tim. He got there as the ball got there.
It was close, but it was a good no call. And that gives the ball to the Canes. 4th down now. Here's the replay. Mizell was there along with, looked like it might have been number 21 also there. That would be Keston Wheeler, if that's the right number. 9 out of 15 for 213 yards and 1 interception on the night for Cook. He's just been outstanding. And Cook will try to pass again. He's got a man open in a crowd. Good contact.
Great contact.
Let's hopefully.
Let's hope he's not. He's up. He's
good.
okay.
All right. I'm glad to see
that was number 4, Tim.
Was that Norwood?
Michael Norwood.
Yeah, that was Gary Stevens. You can hear that up here. Watch the replay. Cook threw the pass on the mark. Boom. Norwood said, no, Mr. Stevens.
You might catch the ball momentarily. You will not keep it long.
And that's the on-down situation. So the Phantoms get it back at their 35. Time running out for Phoebus. Down 31-0 with 1:19 left in the 3rd. They need to get something on the board, and they need it quickly. And the rain now starting to come down with a little more intensity. And that's a beautiful driving tackle in the midfield there. That was a completed pass to Mike Dixon, but he was driven backwards for no gain.
He did a good job of looking the ball into his hands, Tim. And as he turned around, there was a defender right there. Right there, right, boom. He didn't have a chance after he caught it to make a move. Nice defensive play.
That's how you draw it up.
Was that Larry Davis, number 7?
That made the stop? No. Hendricks will run. And he'll get to the 40 before he stopped there. And the rain now will cause a number of the patrons to get the umbrellas and jackets out. So we had hoped to get through this. Tina and I were hoping it would be midnight, but it looks like the clock has...
I think Tina's clock was a little off.
Just slightly. We were hoping. We were being positive about it.
And I was telling Braxton, no rain until 12, and Braxton was smiling at me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not walking out that door tonight.
We're going out the other way, right? And that is going to be the last seconds of the third quarter.
And we got something coming from the sideline.
All right. Let's go down to the sideline.
Hi, you're watching the Famous Phantoms on WHCS TV 46.
That's got to be the best one so far. They were in sync.
Yep. Yep. So we're going. I guess we should probably have a competition. Wouldn't that be appropriate to have
would be great.
the cheerleaders and see if they, each school.
We can't give them player of the game.
No, but they can take pride in the fact that one might do it better than the other.
I tell you, there's been some great players on the Phantoms. It's going to be tough to come up with the player of the game tonight.
I tell you one thing, it would be equally tough on the other side of the ball because I got about a half a dozen Heritage players that would get that award. So the rain coming down and the umbrellas coming out.
Tina says she's not going to listen to Don Slater anymore.
Pass in the middle of the field. That would be enough for a first down if they give his forward progress.
And that was the big guy, Shaheed, isn't it?
I'm going to wait till they unpile, but I think you're right. That's who it was. Shaheed Harris.
He's a bull.
Now let's see. Did they give him? If they give the side judge where he's got it here, that'll be enough for a first down.
Well, Tim, Shaheed is 6'4", 255, and guess what? He'll be back next year. He's just a junior.
I'm hearing that there was a penalty on the play, so the measurement won't be an issue.
Illegal shift on the offense. Repeat third down. What down is it? Third down.
So we couldn't hear it very well, but referee Thompson has wound the clock after marking the penalty. So instead of a measurement for first down, it'll be third down and about 9.
Well, I think they need to turn Baton's mic down again. We're getting the cheerleaders more than we're getting the official.
3rd and 9 for the Phantoms. Again, Hendricks play action.
Oh, he
slipped and just never really got turned around. It was rushed the pass to get it out and incomplete. The intended receiver was Mike Dixon again, and that'll bring up 4th down and 9. And we'll see Narvid and the kicking team coming on.
They've come mighty close to blocking these the punts.
There have been several attempts that they've gotten just barely missed getting a hand on that ball. Good snap this time, and Narvid's kick is away. And it'll take a nice Phoebus bounce. And then Johnson, gambling, picked it up and scooted forward for 3 or 4 yards. Boy, you talk about a gutsy play, but hey, we're up 31-0. You can be a little bit of a gambler. And a player shaken up on the play for the Phantoms. And it looks like he'll be able to come off all right. But that was injured player was Maury Pauling, who was back in the game. But again, re-injured. I didn't think he'd be back that quick. They must have some kind of magic elixir down there to get these kids back in there. But Pauling is back out of the game now. So Cook from the 36-yard line, and Cook gets away from a tackler, but won't get away from another one as he is sacked all the way back to the 28-yard line.
Tim, he bobbled the center, the snap from center that time, and really didn't. It was a broken play. He couldn't hand it off, couldn't do anything, and escaped one tackle. But then when he turned around, there was nothing but blue jerseys.
Want to mention that Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, where the manager is Nancy Staten. They're a sponsor here in the fourth quarter. Conveniently, they're located at the Hampton Center Parkway and North Armstead Avenue. For a tour of their new facility, please stop by or call them at 827-4670. That's the Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home. Appreciate their support.
Can I say this?
There, you can go ahead.
It's a flag. I know you got the flags, but you were talking about something else,
That's
so I thought.
Seems only fair.
Okay, appreciate that.
No problem.
Ruth will be so happy.
That's your only flag for the night, though.
That's it. Okay.
I don't want you to get used to it.
I won't now.
So they're talking to the Phantoms.
Well, you might not want to take this, Tim. I don't know. It makes it third down.
Well, holding offense. Refuse. Third down.
You're right, Coach.
You know, it makes sense. I mean, they lost yardage.
Yep.
It's third. Why take them 10 and give them 2 more down, or give them another down? Because if you can stop them now, they're going to have to punt. They're not going to go for it that deep in their own territory.
Third down at about 17 or 18, it looks to be. Blitz was shown by the Phantoms, and then a early movement on the offensive line. Looks like it might back up the Canes another 5 yards. And that'll be it, illegal procedure. So they have not been without their penalties tonight.
False start. Remains third down.
That's about the only thing that Heritage hasn't done almost perfectly is they have committed some penalties, but
well, they've had some holding penalties that hurt them, and just But you're right. That will get better as the season goes. But when you said our season is half over already, it's just almost mind-boggling. We just started.
Cook setting up, got a man open, and Rouser can't hold on to it. Corey Rouser intended.
Well, Rouser coming out of the backfield was picked up by Eric Emmons and linebacker, and that's a good matchup on offense.
Here's your replay. By the way, the Canes have been penalized 7 times for 55 yards, and of course those are only the ones that have been accepted. For example, the penalty a moment ago was declined, so that doesn't show up in the stats. The Canes get the kicker on with 4th and about 26. And the Phantoms were coming but couldn't get to it. He got a good kick away. So Wayne Reynolds, filling in for the regular punter, does a good job kicking it all the way down to the 34-yard line. No return by the Phantoms. 9:16 remaining in the fourth quarter. These teams coming into the game undefeated, but unless things drastically change and quickly, the Phantoms will come out of here with their first loss, and the Canes will move to 4-0 before their big matchup next Saturday night at Todd Stadium with HHS. And that's not Heritage High School. That's
HHS
Hampton.
playing HHS, isn't it?
That's exactly right. Out of the shotgun, Hendricks steps up, has a man open, almost had it picked off. And the intended receiver was number 7, DJ Parker.
That was a good job that time by Hendricks, Tim, stepping up into the pocket. He was getting some pressure from the outside. Watch the replay. Getting pressure right here and stepped right up, but just not making a good decision on his pass.
Well, he had 3 defenders all around his 2 intended receivers, and that's not a good time to throw that ball.
That might have been a time when you would should have just tucked it and ran with it, maybe picked up some yardage.
Again out of the shotgun. Has some time, slips as he sets, but he got the pass away, and this is Mizell making the catch right at the first down marker. It'll depend on the spot. Be very close depending on the spot, and they may have to bring the chains across here to take a look at this one.
It's hard to see. Now, I was going to ask you for your eagle eye, but you can't even see where the ball is.
Can't see where the ball is. I got to have a break here.
Let's really put the pressure on you. What does it mean? You mean you can't pick it up?
Give me a break. Give me a break. Let's see. Phoebus, after this game, as we mentioned, they will be back here to play Kickitan on the 29th of September. We'll be here for that one. And it is a first down. I wanted to say that, but I couldn't see the ball, so I hesitated to make that judgment. So it's Kickitan hosting Phoebus next Friday night here. Please make plans to come out. It should be a good one. And then the 6th of October, we've got Hampton hosting Warwick, followed by Phoebus hosting Bethel, Hampton and Kickitan, and Phoebus and Kickitan, Phoebus and Hampton, rather, to end the regular season. So we've got some great games still on the schedule. Make plans to bring the family.
Next year, it's going to be different. They change the schedule every 2 years. So next year, we'll see what happens.
And this is a quarterback keeper on first down, but Hendricks no chance to go anywhere as the Heritage defense had it all read perfectly. A little more than 8 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Heritage led 24-0 at halftime and have added one touchdown, a 27-yard pass to Davis from Cook. And they did get the extra point, and now we've got a penalty flag down. Someone moved on the interior.
Yeah, I believe it was one of the defensive men went into the neutral zone.
So encroachment, the call. So a cheap 5.
They have a dead ball, encroachment on the defense. 5 yards, remains second down.
Second down and 5.
Well, but actually about 6 because he really lost a yard time before. But I guess it looks.
No, it's 5.
Well, you're right. They gave him a 6-yard penalty.
That's right. Sometimes these things work out. Pass near side completed to Parker. And that'll be close to another first down. Looks like this one might be a little short of the first down. Here's your replay.
Just a quick out. Nice throw. Good catch. But we're a little short of the first down, I believe.
Yep. They're going to say he's almost a yard short, to be quite honest. The ball is just across the 47. They need to get to the 46. So it's third down and about a yard. Deavy and McWright in the backfield, but Hendricks keeps it. And Hendricks is in first down territory at the 41-yard line. So that will move the chains and give the Phantoms a fresh set of downs. 7:14 left in the fourth quarter. And the clock will restart as soon as the chains are set, and it does. Hendricks, who has been the quarterback for the second half and a lot of the first, incomplete, intercepted. Tipped and intercepted by Heritage. That's the 5th turnover by the Phantoms tonight. And that was Gary Stevens making the interception. Here's the replay.
Just a little too high, but it's a ball that, well, he didn't even get his hands on it.
Nope. He tipped it to himself. So the turnovers, and it's the most logical part of football is if you turn the ball over 5 times, you're not going to win a lot of games. And then when you've got a team that scores so quickly like the Canes do, it's double-edged sword. Cook, what a nice job to evade the rush, but finally couldn't find an open receiver and ate the ball.
And I tell you, he gave, was that number 8 or number 9, I'm not sure, for the Phantoms, but he a nice move, got away from him, and then turned around, and there he was again. Watch the replay. Boom, you're not going to get away from me twice.
Loss all the way back to the 18-yard line. Call it second down and 18. Clock moving, less than 6 minutes remain. Fumble on the exchange, but Cook picks it up, and now running. Deavy is chasing him, and he gets some help, and they sack him back to the 10-yard line. So the Canes headed in the wrong direction here. But it's a little too much Canes and a little too late for the Phantoms, I'm afraid. So Cook driven out of bounds, and that will stop the clock with 5:32 remaining and the ball back at the 10-yard line. So they need to get all the way up to the 37-yard line to get a first down. So it would be third down and about 27. And the ball is loose. Johnson picks it up. And oh, do you see this happen? A late flag comes down. Started to say you see this happen when the ball gets popped out like that and someone picks it up and everybody else relaxes for a second.
You got a clip. Yeah. That'll take them back half the distance to the goal line.
See if you can pick up the clip. It would occur right there as Johnson was trying to move the ball forward, but they did have a block in the back. So the Phantoms will decline the penalty and force the punt.
And that's not a bad move, Tim. There's no way that give them another chance.
Fourth down and about 20.
And I would go for the block, and it looks like that's what they're going to do. They got 10 men on the line of scrimmage.
Wayne Reynolds, left-footed kicker, got it away. Not a bad-looking punt at all. Fielded at the 49 by Mizell. Mizell trying to reverse his field, but then will finally go down after about a 2-yard return. And the Phantoms will set up at the Heritage 47-yard line with 4:47 remaining.
Tim, we got to start thinking of player of the game. Harris has got to come in your mind. Mizell, Adibi, Norwood. Hendricks is doing a great job filling in at quarterback. Blunt, Pavlik. Maury Pauling has played a heck of a defensive game. McWright has carried the ball well. We've got a lot of people.
All right, well, we'll give you that decision, our totally unscientific decision. We'll tell you that up front, based on general impressions, and that's not to slight anyone and always worry about that, because some of these kids, you know, you just don't see all the stuff that goes on, and it's a good place.
We don't see most of the stuff that goes on. But like I would tell you about this little Xavier Adibi, Tim, just a sophomore. 6'3", 210 sophomore.
Hendricks dropped in the backfield and a penalty flag, probably the holding call.
We have one of the Phantoms going off, and that is Michael Norwood.
Going off, you mean, on a stretcher?
On a stretcher, yes. Let's hope it's not serious.
Penalty.
Third down.
So the penalty is declined. It was offensive holding. Ball is marked at the Phantom 48-yard line. They need to get down to the 37-yard line of the Heritage Hurricanes. Third down and about 14. Clock moving, 3:35 to go. Phantoms just want to get in the score column now. Avoid the shutout, and Hendricks is thrown for a loss back to the 42-yard line. Yep, Michael Norwood headed for the ambulance, I'm afraid. There you see the story, 31-0 in favor of Heritage. They have continued their unbeaten, unscored upon streak to this point. Phantoms wanted to at least put some points on the board here in the fourth quarter, but haven't been able to do that. It looks like we've got a unanimous choice. Let's give a couple of players of the game here. So we'll go ahead and go with Mr. Harris, Shaheed Harris, number 87. And boy, the rest of us. Let's go with Maury Pauling as our other player of the game. And certainly, as you mentioned, some of the candidates. We've got a penalty flag back, and might have got a roughing the kicker call coming up here.
I didn't want to say flag. I just pointed. You told me I couldn't say
see?
flag, right?
You would have used next week's allocation if you'd used it.
Right. I get one next week. I want to find a big one.
Foul. Roughing the kicker.
Yeah.
Automatic first down.
It's automatic first down.
Yeah, you heard referee Thompson roughing the kicker.
And see, that's what's different. That's different in a lot of your other. I don't think it's the same way in the pros. Is roughing kicker automatic? I guess
I don't think it is. I think it's 15 yards if it happens to give you the first down. But all right, the Phantoms keep the ball with a chance to put something on the scoreboard here if they can. Hendricks wrapped up, stepped away from one tackler, but then couldn't get away from yet another one as he is taken down at midfield by Heritage. Well, I don't have a number 9 on my roster.
Oh, right there.
No, he was a late addition. Rudolph Foy.
Well, he wasn't late. He was
just didn't make my roster.
No, right. Well, he was left off of that roster, but he was one of the he started at defensive end.
Next Friday night, Phoebus and Kecoughtan right here at Darling Stadium. Please come out and support your favorite team. These kids work hard and they'd like to have your support. And now we've got an official stoppage of play. We got a shoelace situation here as we're 3 seconds less than 2 minutes to go in the ball game. Now we're set to go. Hendricks from the shotgun. Big rush. Got a man open. Got it at the 39-yard line. Not enough for the first down. A long ways from it, but it'll be third down and about 8.
Well, Tim, he picked up about 12 to 14 yards, but that was a nice. He throws the ball if he's got time, but he's just not had time tonight.
Credit Heritage. They've been giving him the big rush. Hendricks, nice grab. Might have had a face mask and a late flag comes down. I think that will be the call. It was enough for a first down.
Well, and Tim, that's really funny. It was number 9, Marlon Ellis, caught the ball, had the first down, went backwards, and then was knocked back across. And then, of course, you mentioned the flag.
Well, this is my job to mention the flag.
Well, I always I'm glad you know your job. If you tell
it's
me
important in life to know your job. 9.
We have a 5-yard face mask on the defense. First down.
5 yards.
Eagle Eye picked that one up. So it was enough for a first down, and they'll just tack on 5 and move the ball inside the 25. And I guarantee you, Bill D wants his team to score. They want to build on something positive out of this. In the end zone, in a crowd, did he hold on to it? No, he got separated from it. That was Mizell, but what an effort.
Well, what a pass.
Yes, that was a beautiful pass.
Whoa, right on the money.
And a good defensive play, too.
Yeah, Mizell got hit by 2 different people. That's why he didn't hang on to it. He's at the top of your screen.
Ouch.
And that's why he lost it.
Got seriously separated from the football. Second down and 10. Clock stops with 54 seconds remaining. The only thing in doubt is the final score. And now we've got confusion, and the Phantoms will have to burn one of their timeouts. They'll still have 2. We'll return to Darling Stadium for the conclusion of tonight's ball game after this brief timeout. All right, you look into the huddle as the timeout on the field, the Canes, and you see the score. So a lot of big games coming up as we enter the second half of the season. Again, Phoebus and Kecoughtan here next Friday night, next Saturday night.
We do want to thank Engraving Inc. and Pocosin Sporting Goods for allowing us to recognize the player of the game with a plaque and a shirt.
Starting to say next Saturday night, Hampton travels to these Hurricanes at Todd Stadium. Bet a lot of Hampton fans will make that short trip. This is Adibi. Xavier Adibi inside the 20 down to about the 17-yard line. Phantoms still have 2 timeouts remaining. And they'll hurry to the line. It's going to be, well, I haven't moved the, now they do, the yard marker on the far side. It's second down, checked at third down as they finally catch up with everything else. They're down at about 3. Ball batted in the air, picked off. And that will end the threat. The Canes trying to put another one on the board. This is Rouser. And he's still on his feet. And he'll be taken down short of the end zone.
And 6 seconds to go.
Yeah, and you know what? I gotta think he almost was trying not to return it. I sense that he could have turned on the afterburners and gone, but what a nice play by Rouser, and he has just been outstanding with the Canes tonight, both sides of the ball. Here he is. He'll cut back. He's kind of looking around for someone to tackle him. I don't know if that's what he was trying to do. He almost ran into the guy. And finally dragged down short of the end zone.
And they spotting the ball, looking for about the 3-yard line, isn't it?
Yes. We've got we have someone on the field from the sideline, and I'm not sure.
Well, that's Greg Navard, the defensive coordinator.
So they've called timeout.
There was a timeout called, and he went out there to talk to his defense, and I think the Canes called the timeout, but they went up. They were ready to play. Because had they not called timeout, the clock would have started right away, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. That's absolutely right. So the Canes will come to the line. 6 seconds remaining. And Cook, well, if he wasn't trying to score, he wouldn't have done that. So I guess the Canes, who could have taken a knee there, decided to put it in the end zone with time running out.
Well, and will kick the extra point, or will attempt to kick the extra point.
But I got to tell you, I am almost convinced that Rouser was looking for someone to tackle him when he was returning that ball. It was almost as if he was showing the sportsmanship that you'd like to see, where, you know, we've got you beaten, and here's the replay of the touchdown.
Bill D's not real happy with that touchdown, I'm sure.
And it looks like they're not going to kick the extra point. So that is going to be the final score, 37-0. And our players of the game,
Shaheed Harris
and Maury Pauling. So we congratulate the two Phantoms for their fine effort tonight. And we want to thank again Zooms with their 6 convenient Peninsula locations for being one of our corporate sponsors. And the game also brought to you in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, where the manager is Nancy Staten. I want to thank our crew for their great job as always. The final score, Heritage 37 and Phoebus nothing. For Bob Hintz and Bob Killen, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.